Turning 100 is supposed to feel like a victory lap, a celebration, proof that you beat the odds. But when Dick Van Dyke sat down for an emotional interview just days before his milestone birthday, he admitted something that caught everyone off guard. After a full century of living, laughing, dancing, and defining Hollywood joy, it still wasn't enough. For most of the world, Dick Van Dyke isn't just an actor. He's a feeling, a soundtrack to childhoods, a symbol of energy that never seemed to run out. But as he approached 100 years on this planet, the man who once bounced across rooftops and danced through chimney soot revealed a much quieter truth. Turning 100 isn't just about looking back. It's about facing what your body can no longer do. He's spent decades playing older men on screen, often as grumpy, angry, cantankerous characters. But sitting in his Malibu home, Dick made it clear that wasn't who he really was. He spoke softly, thoughtfully, almost with surprise at himself. He admitted he doesn't know many other 100-year-olds. He can only speak for himself. And what he shared felt raw in a way Hollywood legends rarely allow themselves to be. The hardest part, he said, isn't fame fading or applause stopping. It's movement. That was the word he kept coming back to. Movement. He talked about having one game leg, not even fully sure how it happened. Pain that just showed up one day and never really left. For a man whose body was once his instrument, whose joy lived in physical expression, that loss hits deeper than most people realize. He still tries to dance. Even now, that alone stunned viewers. But he admitted what he misses most about his younger self isn't the attention or the success. It's simply being able to move freely, to feel light, to trust his body again. And hearing that from a man who once made movement look effortless felt quietly heartbreaking. But just when the interview seemed heavy, another presence shifted the entire mood. His wife, Arlene Silver, sat beside him. And when she spoke, she couldn't hold back the tears. She talked about caring for him, supporting him through the later stages of life, and how deeply personal that role has become. She didn't frame it as a burden. She called it a privilege, an honor. Her voice cracked as she said he lives in people's hearts, woven into the fabric of their lives. Dick listened, then smiled. And when it was his turn, he credited her with something powerful. He said she kept him young, that she gives him energy, humor, support of every kind. For years, fans have quietly speculated about their age gap, wondering how such a relationship works behind closed doors. But in that moment, none of that mattered. What people saw was partnership. Real, emotional, grounding partnership at the very edge of time. And then came the line no one expected. Toward the end of the interview, Dick Van Dyke said something that landed like a punch to the chest. He admitted that even after 10 decades of life, it wasn't enough. 100 years, he said, is not enough. You want more time, more living, more moments. And he said it so casually, yet so honestly, that it instantly went viral. That sentence revealed a truth most people are afraid to say out loud. No matter how full a life is, no matter how iconic your legacy becomes, the desire to keep going doesn't disappear. If anything, it grows stronger. Fans online reacted instantly. Some called it beautiful. Others called it heartbreaking. Many admitted it made them think about their own lives in ways they hadn't before. What made the moment even more surprising was what he shared next. Instead of talking about slowing down, Dick Van Dyke talked about what he still wants to do. He said he has his sights set on another role. Not just any role, but Ebenezer Scrooge in A Christmas Carol. A character defined by age, regret, reflection, and transformation. He even joked that he could make a very funny Scrooge. To some, it sounded charming. To others, symbolic. A man at 100 still imagining himself stepping into a story about redemption and second chances. Still seeing the future as something to participate in, not just observe. In an industry obsessed with youth, that quiet ambition felt almost rebellious. But beneath the humor and optimism, there was something deeper running through the interview. Living that long comes with a hidden weight, outliving peers, watching eras end, carrying memories that no one else shares anymore. Reports have long suggested that extreme longevity brings its own emotional challenges, even when life has been joyful. Dick didn't spell it out, but it was there in the pauses, in the way he chose his words. Hollywood rarely allows its legends to age honestly. They're frozen in their prime, replayed endlessly in clips and reruns. But this moment felt different. This wasn't a highlight reel. It was a reckoning. A man who gave the world laughter, admitting that even a century doesn't satisfy the human desire to live. And that's what made this interview so powerful. Not the milestone, not the fame, but the vulnerability. Dick Van Dyke didn't talk like someone ready to fade away. He talked like someone still reaching forward, even as his body pushes back. At 100 years old, he isn't closing a chapter. He's questioning why chapters have to end at all. And maybe that's his greatest legacy yet. Reminding us that joy doesn't retire. Dreams don't age out. And even when time slows you down, the hunger to live never really disappears. So, if a man who's lived a full century can still say it's not enough, what does that say about the way we're living now?